Marianne Williamson.
Drops out of the Democratic primary race.
Yeah.
So who's left?
Just Dean Phillips and Biden.
God, we are
Yeah.
the Democratic Party is
yeah. And then on the Republican side, everybody's gone now too. It's just Trump and Biden and Dean Phillips hanging on by a thread. But he's not on the ballot in most states. What if Biden dies and it just becomes Dean Phillips, like just some fucking rando no one's ever heard of? There's a movie. What's that movie with John Goodman?
Good evening, as I was told I needed to say instead of good night.
Wow, you've been really thinking about that since
Yeah,
then?
dude, I was watching, as I'm editing the video, I'm like watching it over. I'm
in
like,
his room
damn,
just
did I really
fuming.
say good night?
Next time. I'll get him next time. Yeah,
No.
I didn't know you were fuming this
And
whole
I got
time.
it next time, bro.
There you go. You got me. You guys like our twinning? We're twinning today.
Dude, we didn't even know. Like, we just.
I think I took off my jacket recently. And
Oh, maybe that's why I didn't
I
know.
was wearing
Yeah,
my black
yes, the
jacket.
black one. And I was like, no, dude, are we wearing pretty much the same thing?
I don't have a Led Zeppelin shirt. I wouldn't mind a Led
This is
Zeppelin
my
shirt.
girlfriend's, to be honest with you. I don't have that many black teas, and I needed a black tea. We went out for dinner and got some Indian tonight, so I know my butthole's going to be fucking screaming tomorrow morning.
What'd you eat? What'd you get?
I got a chicken korma.
Okay.
It was fantastic. Oh, God, I love it so much.
I'm really partial to just the butter chicken or the Merg Makhani, I think is what it's called, the butter chicken.
The butter chicken.
Yeah.
You're so fucking basic, bro.
No, dude, it's
disappointed
like a
in
tikka
you.
masala. It's like that's like the classic Indian dish is the butter chicken. It's called Merg Makhani in
I know, I'm just messing
in-
with you.
I
I,
don't know,
got to give
Hindi?
you some kind of shit. You
Yeah,
guys
that's fair.
like our new setup? We got this thing hanging, Mike Pence on air sign. No, I'm just kidding.
Too soon?
No. Yeah, no, it's too soon, man.
3 years ago now?
How long's it been?
January 6th.
2020?
So, yeah, January 6th, 2021.
4
right?
years.
Wasn't
It's
it?
2024.
No, it's 2021. It was January 6th, 2021. Because the election was in November of 2020. And then
Oh,
he got sworn in on January of the
Oh
next
yeah,
year.
man.
Yeah,
My
so-
dementia,
Right?
just like Joe Biden's, is starting to kick in.
Yeah.
We
Spoiler
got this
alert.
little on-air sign from I thrifted that shit for $3.
Burp. Yeah, $3 at a Value Village.
Yeah, they got some good stuff. You really got to look around.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I was into Goodwill last weekend. I was looking for some stuff, but I couldn't find anything of note. But yeah, we got our sign floating in space. You can't see it, but it's like it looks like it's against the wall, but it's really 3 feet from the wall.
Yeah, that's
So
the point.
That's cool.
That's
We'll have to kind
It's an
of.
illusion.
Yeah, I want to
It's
I want
right
to light
here,
it.
but the wall is literally all the way over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I want to start off with saying I am sorry for the video from the last video being kind of iffy. There was something going on with like the amount of power his laptop could take while filming, and so we decided to scrap the laptop. He ordered like $700 worth of parts.
Well, I don't know. That wasn't that much, but it was. Well, actually, no, it was.
After tax and shipping, man, it's
yeah, it was
pretty
probably
damn close
to.
But yeah, so we
back
set
on-
up the cameras too.
Yeah, and now my PC is like ready for all the gaming I could ever want. Not that I game, but now it's ready.
The 20 minutes worth of gaming you do every
Yeah.
week. And now you're probably going to have to drop once you start your master's program.
I like the idea that we're using OBS and I may like watch YouTube and I have 64 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
Yeah, for like YouTube.
Those YouTube videos are going to be pristine.
Yeah, no,
fast,
yeah,
man.
and I
no
have
flaws.
a
you
really
know?
high-end graphics card, a new terabyte of SSD. We're ready to rock, man.
Yeah.
So that's fun. But that's just my personal PC that we
So
can
yeah,
record off of.
if you did see our last video, that is not how our videos usually go. I promise.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate too because that was the one with we were talking to Mike from Turn Leftist, and it was just such a cool interview, such a cool dude, and
What's
like
a chance, man?
yeah, and then that video got kind of fucked, and then the audio was also a little off. Like I did my best to kind of equalize it. I think it sounded okay, and it ended up being fine, I think, but.
Yeah,
we-
just like Sally's, I had to manually.
Yeah, we had to edit manually because that was. I mean, we're talking like a lot of like technical details. I don't know if anybody actually gives a shit, but
Yeah,
like
no, probably not. No.
yeah, it was recorded on one track because it was a disc. It was when we have a guest, we have to record it on one track, so we can't individually level stuff. So, but we've actually since fixed that. So, because when we record on multiple tracks, so I can fix the levels. I do the audio editing. Kanan does the video editing. But now I have figured out. I've unlocked the secrets of Audition.
It takes time, but you eventually start learning all these things and little little gimmicks and stuff, and you start learning. He's like, hey, there are these little tricks you can do, and you get better. And I think it's only going to get better from here. It's going to look beautiful soon enough.
Yeah,
We'll have a lot of ideas. moved into a new room. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
going
we got
on,
some
man.
ideas. We're going to be working with like as far as studio setup and background and stuff going. We're just we just threw some of the flags up. Got Cuba, Yugoslavia, Palestine, China,
USSR,
BLM, USSR. Just not all these are in
Show
frame.
my second camera setup.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and show you the second camera. So here's a little bit of a better angle. More of our stuff. Start to see some cords on the floor. But yeah, we have a lot more flags. If you remember from the last room, we have a few more countries, but we're in like kind of like a den here with like a fireplace and a bookshelf behind us. It is a den. So, oh my god, where did you find all those cords? Oh, that's just that. Yeah, we set this up like
There's so many cords. You guys don't understand. All the cords are behind everything over there.
We should have one camera just looking back out that way, just to see what we see with all these fucking lights.
It's fucking crazy.
Although, there's a shadow behind my head, which I'm not super stoked on, but it's fine.
Maybe we get the camera lower next time.
No, it's all good. This is like kind of mood lighting. It's like we're kind of in I don't know, like in a little dinner, smoking jackets. I should have like a glass of brandy.
We should get a cigar over here and it's fucking so like Andrew Tate. Well, you fucking idiot!
I'm living my life. You're an idiot.
There's no way in hell my wife would ever let us smoke a cigar down here. She already thinks we smoke cigarettes down here. Occasionally she'll be like, "Are you guys smoking cigarettes down there?" I'm like,
"Dude, I've never smoked a cigarette in life.
Neither of us smoke cigarettes. What are you talking about?
You got a joint, bro? I don't like that shit up. Fuck.
There's no way. My wife would be super pissed.
No.
Anyway, go back to this tight angle.
I like this angle.
Well, it's been like 3 weeks since we've done news.
Yeah, so there's like a lot to catch up on.
And we also like there was some that came and went that we looked at, and then we're just like the border bill. I don't think we really talked too much about that. No. But that was sank by the Senate Republicans. I think their own bill because Trump wants to campaign on how fucked the border is. So why would he actually do anything that would help the border?
Help in their eyes.
Help in their eyes. Although I think that border bill wasn't, as far as I remember, it was 3 weeks ago. I don't think it was like too crazy. I think it was actually just like
I wasn't
pretty reasonable.
To that
I don't
I'm
remember.
not gonna lie to you.
I don't want to speak too hardly on it because I don't really remember. Yeah. But first story. This just happened. This was last night. Last night. The special election in New York to replace George Santos, or for the seat that George Santos previously filled, I should say. Democrat won. Democrat Tom Suzy. We remember we had a I think it's how you pronounce it, Sousie, Susie. I've only read articles. I haven't like listened to any of these. So it was Mazi Melissa Philip. She was that Ethiopian-born IDF soldier. Basically, the dystopian like IDF infiltrator. She lost, so that's, I guess, small mercies there. I mean, not like this guy is all that great as like a savior. He's still pro-Israel.
He was like the previous. Before George Santos, this was his district. For like 20 years, I think.
Yeah, he retired, I think, and then Santos somehow won it, which nobody really understands how he won that. But then now Santos got booted, so he came back. But like I said, even though the IDF soldier didn't win,
54-46, I just saw that.
Well, that's actually, I mean, that's a pretty healthy margin. That's like
I know, but it's New York. It's supposed to be like.
I mean, a Republican won the seat before.
I know, but it's George Santos. That's probably just people trolling. Like, fuck it. They're like, let him fuck everything up.
I don't know. It's like a small community in Long Island, I think, too. It's not like
it's probably some rich people.
Yeah, I think it is. Like Long Island is like it's like a nicer, nicer neighborhoods or suburbs, kind of like more upper.
But it still
class
gives you like that illusion of like you're voting, considering both of them are staunchly pro-Israel. So it's like, am I really voting for anything?
Yeah, like, I mean that comes back to that same idea, right? Like. Democrats and Republicans are just the same. They're both super pro-Israel. It's not like one of them is going to like oppose more aid packages to Israel or more bombs to Israel.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
So like, it's not like it really matters.
Oh my god, what a shame.
So anyway, that was just an update. We were kind of following that Santos story, so that's the exciting conclusion to the epic Santos saga.
And he's there until the end of this term because he basically just took over the term until 2025. I can't remember when.
Oh, Susie, is you saying?
Yeah, Susie.
Oh, okay. So when's his next election then? 2026?
Fuck me if I know. I think it's sometime.
Or is it going to be this November?
I think it's the end of 2025.
Oh, okay.
It is because he's basically just took over that.
Just filling out the rest
term.
of Santos' term. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
So he basically just took over the term, so it's until the end of the term. I don't know if he's going to run again.
Yeah, because he retired once.
This dude has run. Like,
But he's also not old. He's like a younger guy, I think. He's like in his late
probably
40s,
like,
50s.
Yeah, early 50s. But here's the thing. This guy has run for the New York governor like 4 times and lost miserably every single time. And I think he's just like over politics. But they probably somehow convinced him. It's just like, hey, just take the seat for another year and a half.
Oh, he's 61. Damn, he looks good for 61.
He really does.
I mean, he looks...
That's how you. Yeah, I mean, I'll pop a picture up here of him. Yeah, that's how you know that he sleeps well at night with all the bullshit that he's doing.
Well, and he's a straight white male, so you know.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm a straight white male.
That's stress-free living.
I'm a straight white male, but if I was in that case scenario and I was voting for those bills that he's voting on, I think I'd like sleep 2 hours a night. So
is this thing falling down slowly? It feels like, I swear to God, it feels like it just keeps getting lower and lower.
Probably.
Anyway, that's the Santos ending. Whatever. It's more electoral politics. Who gives a shit? But it's just kind of interesting because Santos was a fascinating fucking dude.
We're just giving you the news as society breaks down for fun.
Yeah, it was the news story. It's a special election. Next up, though, this one's fun. Biden's cognitive fucking saga. The story of Biden's cognitive ruling. An elderly man with poor memory. That's how that. I think it was just like some lawyer, like White House lawyer, explained it. He described it Biden as being an elderly man with poor memory. Apparently he couldn't remember when he was vice president. He couldn't remember when his son died.
Didn't he like talk about like, oh, I just met the other day with the French president, and that French president was from like the 80s or like early 90s or something like that.
He like forgets people's names constantly.
That guy died like 30 years ago.
And like this isn't just this, like, I don't know, I think there's a deeper story than just ragging on Biden, because it's fun to rag on Biden, but also like, yeah, to be fair, Trump has all these same issues. Like Trump's also a senile 80-something-year-old, even though Trump is like 4 years younger than Biden. Yeah,
but at least he's like cognitively there. Like,
yeah, I would say Trump surprisingly is more together than Biden. Like but one of our shorts that did really well was that Biden compilation of those few Biden gaps, and it's just like, man,
it's still getting likes. Like, I'm surprised. I'm like, I'll take it. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's sad because like, there have been in history very old politicians that have been cognitively there. Like I think Japan's president, like I don't know, 10 years ago, retired at like 86.
Feinstein just retired at like 160, or she died at 160.
Yeah.
How old was she? She was like,
to be honest, the last 10 years they propped her up on a stick like she was a puppet.
But yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Like there's old politicians. I mean, fucking the Queen of England just died at 96 or whatever, or 94. Yeah. How old was the Queen of England? But yeah, but I mean, but he's still
cognitively there. So is Trump, but I don't understand how that motherfucker's alive eating McDonald's and a 12-pack of fucking Diet Pepsi every day.
Well, we know he's like shitting his pants every day. Yeah. But what I was going to say about Biden is like, yeah, like other people may be old, but like you got to say that, like, I know it's like a trope that like the American presidency is very powerful, like the most powerful position on earth, but like it kind of is, right? Like the American president kind of controls like foreign policy, and I don't know, maybe not in recent years, but in years past, the American president has a lot of power, and like
technically,
but like, you know, you want them to have their faculties.
Are they the one, dude? Are they the one controlling that power? Because if Biden being this like cognitively like gone, he's not running shit. He's just been told what to say, what to do.
Well, yeah. So his press secretary has come out like defending him pretty staunchly. Biden came out pretty pissed off at this. Like he was kind of like snapping at reporters and shit. If you watch some of that press footage, and also now he's refused to take any kind of cognitive test. So that's, I don't know if that's fishy, because he's like, remember when Trump took the cognitive test and it was like camera, man, woman, TV?
Yeah.
Like you'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV.
Remember that, dude? Maybe put that clip of just him pointing at random shit. But like, but at least he took it. Biden's refusing now to take the cognitive test.
I think he's the first one, right?
Yeah, first president in history apparently to refuse a cognitive test, along with his like biannual physical, I think it is. Yeah.
Non-cognitive Joe won't take the test, people, folks. He won't take the test.
Yeah, even Trump took the test.
Trump is gonna rail on him, man. He's gonna rail on him for this.
He's gonna rail him.
Oh yes, that probably in the fucking background. That's what's happening, anyways.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you want to play this?
Dude, let's play this.
Biden not remembering Hamas.
Yeah.
Side now, though, and talk about whether the oldest ever U.S. president has given the clearest signal yet.
Also, if he got in a second term, he'd be 86.
Just too old to be in the White House. Joe Biden sparked fresh alarm by awkwardly stumbling through yet another press conference, and at one stage, even forgetting the name of Hamas. Have a look at this.
There is some movement, and I don't want to, well, maybe choose my words. There's some movement,
dude,
there's been
Sleepy Joe.
a response from the.
This is the guy with the nuclear codes, dude.
There's been a response from the opposition, but yes, I'm sorry, from Hamas, but it seems to be a little over the top. We're not sure where it is. There's a continuing negotiation.
Dude, he is. I feel bad, man. I feel bad because he is struggling so hard.
Yeah,
and like.
Yeah, and I don't want to make it sound like we're just bullying on this old man, but like the point of this is that like he's not just some old man; he's the fucking president of the United States. So
yeah,
like,
dude,
you
this
need
guy
to
can't
move
remember
move along.
Hamas.
And it's not like there's all these rumors now that Harris is like just like drugged out of her mind. So like,
really, I wouldn't be surprised. Bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to speak too much on that because this is just like shit I'm seeing on like Instagram.
Talking about how laughing at weed legalization, and if it is true that she's drugged out of her mind, what a fucking hypocrite.
Well, it's like just there's been like a whole bunch of clips of her like just like yelling words and then just like laughing maniacally and shit, and it's just like what the fuck. It's just so bizarre. Like, so I don't know. I don't want to speak too much of that because I don't have anything to back that up. That was just a remark I made off the cuff. My point is that like,
mess?
Yeah, my point is that like it's not just bullying an old man. It's like this dude is like the fucking president. He needs to like step down. Like he needs to not run, and you need to not vote for him. Like you need to support somebody else.
But they want this, man. They want this because here's the thing. As much as us commies don't really like JFK. JFK did at a point like kind of put his foot down to the CIA at certain points.
It got him killed, but yeah.
Oh yeah, it got him killed, right? But at certain points, he's like, "Listen, I don't really want to do that. I don't really agree with everything." He will follow the CIA, pretty much what they're saying. But there's certain points where he will put his foot down, and they can as president. But now with Biden not even cognitively being there. I mean, they can pretty much do whatever the fuck they want. They just tell this old guy, whisper in his ear like Wormtongue. Wormtongue in Lord of the Rings. He's like, "Sir,
Grima
they are not Grima Wormtongue. Yeah, sir, they are not welcome here."
My lord, Gandalf the Grey is coming. He's a herald of woe.
The courtesy of your hall is somewhat lessened of late.
He's not welcome.
Why should I welcome you, Gandalf Stormcrow?
A just question, my liege.
Gandalf Stormcloak or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
you know. That's what they want. This literally, it's like the scene from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, and I don't know if we want to keep kind of beating a dead horse here, but like, yeah, it's just
we can move on, but it's
crazy.
God.
Look into it. It's just crazy.
The foreign aid bill.
Yeah, foreign aid bill.
Foreign aid.
I added this just because. Did I add this or did you add these notes? I don't remember.
I added some of these notes. Yeah, I just saw that you were.
Yeah, I just wanted to call it out because they're just giving other just doling out billions and billions and billions more to Ukraine and to and Israel. It's just never ending. Congress, Senate, and Biden are just still funding a genocide and still just giving away our healthcare money to Ukraine. Yeah, I don't know.
To the money to Israel is just blood money, genocide money.
Yeah.
The money to Ukraine, it feels not as bad for me.
Yeah, it's harder to criticize it for sure.
Yeah, but
also like that's a losing war. It's just you're just burning money, right? Like
that's the point, is to wear Russia out.
But like that,
we're using Ukraine as a proxy to wear the Russian military and government
right?
out.
But we don't have the money to do that. Why is you know what I mean? Like yeah. I mean, I guess technically we have unlimited amounts of money because it's money. We made up money. Money's fake, but like, it just seems like that's not a sustainable strategy with how like much in debt America is and how much poor we are. I mean, and this is late stage capitalism of like a homeless house crisis, homeless crisis, and yet we're just burying ourselves deeper and deeper in debt by giving money to Ukraine to just fight this war of attrition that will eventually be lost. We know it's lost. Like Ukraine can't possibly win. So like, what are we even doing here? Like, why we just keep throwing money away? Just Zelensky. But this is like Zelensky just like refuses to like surrender. He just needs to surrender, accept whatever terms Putin offers, and like fucking be done with it. You lost the war. That happens.
Yeah,
Not that I'm, like,
to be honest,
pro-Putin.
to be honest, like I kind of understand his position too, because like my people are in that position. They're like, it's either you kill us all if you want to take it, like we're all going down, like you're gonna have to kill every fucking single person, or it's just like we'll fight without the weapons. You know, I respect that, but like I don't know what I put it in the notes how much money was sent to Ukraine, and
it wasn't
was like,
as much as recent,
but still, man,
$60 billion,
$60 billion worth of support, and we don't really know where it really goes to. From what I hear recently, is a lot of that money is like literally just going into the pockets of Ukrainian politicians.
Yeah, I would imagine that private security forces.
Yeah,
like,
knowing us Slavs, that's probably just fucking standard.
Well, and there was reports too that Zelensky's like firing anyone that's not like a yes man, and like anyone that's telling him that he should capitulate and kind of like talk about peace terms or like some kind of armistice, and he's closing himself off from anybody that's suggesting that, and he himself is, I guess, becoming more and more of a hardliner of like victory or death for like all Ukraine kind of. So like he's kind of like lost the plot a little bit, and supposedly he's now in this like all or nothing position where he would rather like every single Ukrainian die rather than like surrender to Putin. And like obviously that's not the solution, right? Like if America were to broker a truce or like broker some kind of armistice, you bring like England, France, Germany, America to the table with Putin and Zelensky, and you kind of like hammer out some kind of deal. Like that's the solution. Just keep throwing money at a losing war is not a solution.
Yeah, one it fucks us all up here in America. Yeah. Two, like more people die in Ukraine.
Yeah,
but
here's prolonging a war.
Here's the difference. He has the opportunity to call a truce and just settle things. No more people dying. Again, when I bring it back to Bosnia, we didn't have that. There was like we just fought to the death because of like if we didn't, we would just die regardless.
Yeah.
Right. With this, they could just sit down and like, all right, what's the deal? Like, and then they could make a deal. We couldn't do that, right?
And I'm sure there's
to save lives, man, no more people dying. Right. That's more important. Like, fuck the land. Let the land go. It sucks. It's historically Ukraine, whatever. Historic Russia. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. It's historically somebody's, but I think more importantly right now, people are dying, and let's not send anybody's child to war if it's just not necessary.
Yeah, like it's ultimately going to lose. I just reread All Quiet on the Western Front. So that's like the plot of that book is it's the final days of World War I. Like there's an armistice happening, but still soldiers are still fighting and dying every day on the front line for no reason. Like the war, Germany lost the war by like 1917. Like the writing was on the wall, but even still into late 1918, they were still refusing to give up and just throwing kids younger and younger and younger with less and less training. And so their casualties were like actually, instead of going down at the end, they were actually going up because of like the quality of soldiers they're putting out. And that's reminiscent of this, not to the same numbers obviously, but it's like reminiscent of like your experienced troops are gone. All your like equipment is like running ragged. You're out of like your high quality stuff. Like you're running. It's just like it's only gonna get worse, and you're only gonna go slower and slower and make less and less progress from here on out. And not that I'm some fucking expert on the Ukraine-Russia war. Like I'm just saying, like from my understanding of military history and just geopolitics, like there's no outcome that's like a positive for Ukraine, right? At best, you're gonna hope for like a neutral outcome.
Yeah, just take your losses and like
take your lumps.
Yeah, take your lumps. It's just like there's no point of people dying anymore. Like it's because it's just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you don't want like your fucking people just perishing for no reason. Just
100%.
It is just end it. It's okay. It's okay. If anything, if there really is a problem, take him to the fucking international court and have him be signed off as a war crime. I know it's most likely not going to happen.
Well, that's actually he's already been accused by the ICJ that accused that South Africa took Israel. Like in 2022, I think it was at the outbreak of the war, they accused Putin of doing the same thing Israel's doing in Russia. So there is like I think there is a warrant out for Putin's arrest, which actually may stop Putin from wanting to come to the table.
And I think that's what
because
it is,
like Putin is now considered like an internationally recognized war crime, and there is like an international warrant to like
the moment that war stops.
Yeah,
is the moment that the people start asking for Putin's hand to be taken into the Hague, right? So Putin
so he has a strong incentive to just keep it going too. So it's actually kind of a lose-lose for Ukraine.
So it's kind of fucked.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a bummer. Let's end with this. Let's end with Israel.
I also do want to say that real quick that there was extra money. Supposedly $9.2 billion was being handed in the humanitarian assistance, and $4.8 billion to support regional partners in the Indo-Pacific region, in addition to other policy provisions. So basically, what they're doing is they're sending money to Taiwan without saying it.
God damn it! Yeah. Oh yeah, I read that. I read that it was going to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. They said it. I think NPR said it.
And the article that I got it from, I forgot what article this was because I was looking for the information,
right?
And I posted the notes. Basically, doesn't say to Taiwan.
No, but NPR did. I listened. I asked my Alexa to play the news every morning because that sounds so bougie. But as I'm getting ready in the morning, I just say, Alexa, play the news. And
Alexa, play me the news.
And it just runs down the news of the day every morning. And then a couple days ago, it said. I think I actually remember hearing that it did mention specifically that it's Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan.
Yeah.
And I was just like, ha!
I would love Alexa to be telling me the news every morning, but it's Arnold Schwarzenegger
just the voice
explaining everything.
Sure, there's are there mods you can get for Alexa? Surely somebody's hacked it.
There's no way. Arnold is like Arnold. Tell me about the news this morning. Shit is fucked up.
Another 60 billion for Ukraine.
Shit is going down. Yeah. Zelensky got in the chopper. He got out of there.
Neoliberalism is taking over the globe.
The U.S. bombs Yemen. Innocent people died.
All right, you gotta cut these and make these little something. I want these sound bites.
I need that in my life. I will get Alexa Amazon if you bring Arnold's voice into it.
A democratic future for Taiwan.
That's so good, bro. That is so good. Why haven't you talked like Arnold before?
I didn't know I could do that. So that's new to me.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, it's not that hard, really. No, you just go for it.
Yeah.
Let's skip Israel, or let's circle back to Palestine and end with Palestine because that's going to be a longer conversation. Let's do some lightning round before, because we're going to end with Israel. So now we're just going to do some lightning round. Homeland Security, the Secretary of Homeland Security, the House voted to impeach Alejandro Mayorkas, the Secretary of Homeland Security, for basically gross incompetence with the border. Second time ever that's happened. I think it hasn't happened in 150 years since a cabinet member was impeached by the House. Ultimately, nothing will happen, and it'll die in the Senate. But still kind of monumental.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
lightning round news 1 down. Boom. Lightning round news 2. NPR Ukraine comment. I was listening to NPR. I turn on my car in the morning, and as the time it takes for my phone to start playing, and put on whatever audiobook, podcast, or music I'm listening to, for that to load, it's usually a 30-second window, and that's the 30 seconds that I listen to NPR a day.
Yeah.
And in that 30 seconds, as I was pulling out, getting my maps pulled up, putting my podcast, Steve Inskeep is a morning, I think he's just he's just an NPR guy. He said, I don't know the exact quote, but he said that he was in a report about Ukraine, that Ukraine is losing the war and that they are running short of supplies, ammunition, and soldiers. I guess things are actually pretty dire on the front for Ukraine. They're out of bullets.
Wow.
And Steve Inskeep, not as part of the report, just as part of his own commentary, stopped to say, well, and, that's not really the Ukrainian general's fault. That's America's fault for not sending enough bullets. And I was just it's just globally recognized that we're their babysitters, and they need more allowance. Daddy needs to give them allowance so they can go shoot more. It's just insane that
we are at war with Russia.
Yeah, it's 100% a proxy war. Yeah, it just 100%
we're using
confirmed.
their bodies and their land as basically a proxy war,
a chess game.
So we don't have to send Americans in. We're just just use the Ukrainians and just fucking use them to the death.
It was just insane to just hear it so explicitly stated that yes, this is a proxy war, in no uncertain terms. And this was just this one man's comment, but it was just kind of I was actually taken aback, and then I started listening to my audiobook. Marianne Williamson
drops out of the Democratic primary race. So who's left?
Just Dean Phillips and Biden.
God, we are.
Yeah,
the Democratic Party.
is fucked. Yeah, and then on the Republican side, everybody's gone now too. It's just Trump and Biden and Dean Phillips. Hanging on by a thread. But he's not on the ballot in most states. What if Biden dies and it just becomes Dean Phillips, Biden, just some fucking rando no one's ever heard of? God. There's a movie. What's that movie with John Goodman?
No.
God damn it! It's a movie where John Goodman becomes president, I think, because everyone dies and
I think I've heard about that.
This is not a fish called Wanda. Oh, what the hell is the name of this movie? Doesn't matter. It'll be on the screen here, maybe. I'm volunteering you to do a lot of editing in this video.
No, I love it, man. Yeah. I like it.
I want to pull it up. Let's see. John Goodman. Is it John Goodman or is it John Candy? I can't remember.
I don't know, man. I'm not the person to ask.
Do you know the difference between John Goodman and John Candy?
No. The last name?
John Candy living in a van down by the river, SNL. No, that's Chris Farley. What the fuck am I saying? John Candy was Cool Runnings, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I'm better with faces than names.
Okay.
That's my problem. Like, if I saw his face, I'd be like, I've seen that person, or I know who that is.
Doesn't
There's
matter.
also don't forget about the independents, like Cornel West.
Right.
He's still running technically.
Oh yeah, we were talking about for Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah.
It's just Trump on the Republican side and just Biden with maybe Dean Phillips on a couple of ballots, but I don't know. He's only.
I
I
think
don't think he's on
Cornel
the ballot.
West has had a really hard time getting himself on ballots.
Yeah.
'Cause apparently, if a lot of states just don't allow independents to run, right? So you have to make your own party.
Yeah,
in the states to run.
Maricopa County, which is like one of the biggest cities in the country, Phoenix, which it's the county for Phoenix. There's no independents. There's only 3 parties, which is Democrat,
and Libertarian,
Republican, and Libertarian.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
There's no independent. In Pima County in Tucson,
that's not even legal, man. Like,
I don't know.
Because like you have to be part of a party to run
you have, but
isn't that like one of our rights to be able to like?
Well, when I was in the Communist Party of Phoenix, I looked into it because I thought it'd be fun to like. Well, I had 2 ideas. One is like the adopt a highways as you're driving on that.
Yeah.
It's like this highway adopted by. I thought it'd be so funny to see Communist Party USA. It's like as the sign.
Oh my god!
I think that's a great idea. I think we should like adopt a stretch.
We should
of,
do
like,
it. We should make a video on that and just go to that road.
Like brought to you by
Seattle
Communist Party of USA Seattle chapter.
I wonder how much that is. Do you know?
I don't know. It's like to sponsor it, but that was my one idea. My other idea was to get the Communist Party as a actually recognized party in Maricopa County.
Are we not?
The voter. No, you can't. Well, you can't in Arizona. It's legal in Arizona.
Dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, as I was doing this research, that's when I discovered that it's actually, according to Arizona state statutes, it's illegal to be a member of the Communist Party, and you can't be officially recognized as a communist, which seems like a First Amendment violation to me. But you also can't hold any state government job with and be a registered communist in America or in Arizona. It's a law on the books in Arizona. I'll pull up the statute. I'll find the statute.
I am dumbfounded. I was
blown away.
I heard something like that, but I didn't actually think it's true.
Oh, no,
there you go, America. There's your democracy. Don't tell me there is democracy. You can't even be what you believe in.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So then that led me down the rabbit hole. Is like my next thing was going to be I should petition and start city council thing to remove that from the books.
Yeah.
But then I left Arizona and I moved to Washington, so I just didn't care anymore. But if you're ever in Arizona, it is definitely illegal to be a communist.
Holy shit, man!
And it's not illegal to just straight up be a communist, but it's illegal to. It will never be a recognized party. You can't hold any kind of position of government, and you can't work for any kind of like public civic service.
Well, that's why
job.
PSL is doing good because they're the party of socialism and liberation. Yeah. They're not communists. Well, even if they are, they're just the name says socialism, so they can say it. So the Communist Party of the United States,
yeah, here it is.
This is 16-806.
Yeah, Arizona Revised Statutes, Chapter 16. Subsection 806, whatever, we'll put it up there. The Communist Party of the United States or any successors of such party, regardless of the assumed name, the object of which is to overthrow by force or violence the government of the United States or the government of the state of Arizona or its political subdivision, shall not be entitled to be recognized or certified as a political party under the laws of the state of Arizona, and shall not be entitled to any of the privileges, rights, or immunities attendant upon illegal political bodies recognized under the laws of the state of Arizona or any political subdivision thereof, whatever rights, privileges, or immunities shall have heretofore been granted, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, just the Communist Party, CPUSA specifically, it calls out, is illegal in Arizona. Yeah. So.
That's fucking crazy, bro. What?
Fun fact. I told some of the Seattle guys about this, and they're like, yeah, I think this isn't like unusual. I think there's a handful of states that still have like anti-communist laws in the books.
Yeah.
And this actually, I looked into it. This law was passed like in the early 2000s or something.
What?
This isn't like a new thing.
I thought it was just like a law from the 60s or 50s that was like just like hanging in there. Holy shit.
But there's more. I mean, so 16805 is a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of laws where what you can't do. That's what I was saying. You can't be like a teacher or a librarian or any kind of public civil servant job that you work for the government of Arizona. You can't be a
That's
communist.
Insane.
Yeah.
Well, this is the slowest lightning round I've ever seen in my life.
Also, joke's on them because I was a public teacher and I was a member of the Communist Party. So
fuck you, Arizona.
Fuck you, Arizona.
Dude, don't say that. They just admitted to.
I did just admit. I don't know what it is. I'd have to look at the penalty.
Yeah, fucking badass, bro. Fuck you.
Whatever misdemeanor. It's probably not a felony, right?
All right.
But seriously, if they fucking
what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do?
Surely a First Amendment lawyer would you know what I mean?
Yeah, you could easily take that to the court. You are violating my rights.
100% violating rights.
Freedom of speech.
The king, have you heard?
No.
The king
has cancer. I don't know. My Schwarzenegger's on point. My British town crier, not so much.
Shame!
The king has cancer. Yeah, look at his little.
Bro, I'm gonna put this picture up. The same exact picture.
Yeah, again, I don't want to like bully him. I don't want to talk shit. I was gonna say, look at his little piggly wiggly
fuck
fingers.
this guy.
But
Fuck
yeah.
this monarch. I don't give a fuck about him. Look at his fucking clubby ass fucking fingers.
Yeah.
I think this is a sign of heart disease. I am not 100%.
I'm not a doctor.
I'm not. Your wife is. I mean, this.
My wife is, but she's out of town. She's actually in Arizona.
I call her up. He's like, hey,
go be a communist.
I remember club fingers. I think it was an episode of House, and he's like, club fingers are like a natural indication of like heart disease.
Do you know what I learned fairly recently?
What's up?
Do you know House is just okay? I feel like this fucking microphone's going down again. Do you know that House is just it's an allegory for Sherlock Holmes?
Really?
Yeah, Gregory House. What was his partner's name? Watson.
Yeah.
It was so it's House and Wilson instead of Holmes and Watson, and he's like solves like hard mysteries. It's like a medical Holmes. It's like an homage to Sherlock Holmes.
Okay, that's actually one of my favorite series.
Yeah, House.
Yeah,
I saw it way back in the day. I was considering rewatching that, but
it's a great watch.
I grinded.
To be honest, the seasons are too long. It's like 20 episodes.
Oh, it's the old school style, of like 22 episodes.
Yeah, and it's like
didn't it get real
1
weird?
hour episodes, and you have to have 1 hour episodes for those things, just because like.
I remember not liking it when Lin-Manuel Miranda came on, and it was like. I don't know. Should I spoil House? Like when it becomes like the mental hospital and then like the jail and the mental institution.
I'm on season 2, and like,
oh, wait, you haven't finished it?
No. I'm on season 2, and I haven't watched in months. It's just
wait, have you seen it all the way before?
No.
You have. Oh, then I just spoiled it for you.
Who cares? I don't give a fuck. It's 25 years old.
Okay, well, I felt bad.
I don't care.
I thought you said you loved it.
I do. Okay. I do. Who cares?
I took that to mean
every episode. Every episode is like. You could watch an episode and not watch the previous four and kind of get the gist.
It's good. It gets bad, though. Lin-Manuel Miranda comes on board in, like, season 6 or something, and I fucking hate Lin-Manuel Miranda, and, like, I don't know. It gets bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like the whole premise, but it gets old one after the other, and you're like, really? This guy somehow got 3 rare diseases at the same time?
I think I used to chain smoke cigarettes, play World of Warcraft, and have House on my second monitor, and I just like would play WoW for like 8 hours and just have House. So like I watched it that way, so I didn't really watch it, but
it's good. But it just gets old because it's the same idea over and over again.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, the king has cancer.
Yeah, I didn't really look into this too much. I don't know what that means. I don't know what his prognosis is. I don't know what his future looks like.
I'll do the research when I'm editing, and I'll fucking throw it in there. Whatever. Wow, there's a screen right there. Yeah. Right there. It's right there. Yeah, that's what it means. Anyways. Lightning round. What's the last one that we?
The last one is the Trump NATO comment, which this actually blew my mind because it's just if you hear the clip, and maybe we should play the clip. There, we just played the clip. It's no, we shouldn't because that doesn't make any sense. I'll go talk about it before we play the clip. God, we're so good at this. I'm so good at this.
This is why we're here, man.
Trump says Russia should do quote whatever the hell they want. End quote, to any of the NATO countries that don't pay. And what he means by don't pay is like don't pay America, basically. Like don't pay for like the privilege of being in NATO. And so he's kind of throwing like he says so like, he was asked like should NATO countries should like they be helped basically if they're like if a country is invaded by Russia, should they be if they're a NATO country, should they be are they automatically given assistance by NATO? And Trump says no, not unless they pay us, which is literally mob extortion.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like that's an extortion racket of like you go to a business and you make them pay you for protection.
Yes.
He's literally describing that.
It's
literally describing extortion of like, yeah, we won't protect
this guy
you.
has been in New York for too long.
I just thought that was I heard him say that and I was like, so you're just defining extortion.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I think part of it is that he's been complaining, and the Republicans in general, that within NATO there's a certain quota that they have to hit for their military percentage of their budget every year. The military has to be, and I think it's like something like 5%.
Yeah, it's fairly low.
5%
compared to what we
something
spend,
like that.
yeah.
And some countries are like doing like 3% because
okay,
Austria was like, why is Austria
or like
putting 5%
Luxembourg
in?
or whatever?
Who the fuck is invading Austria? Russia? Like no. So there's like their government is like, I'd rather take this money and put it into healthcare or something instead of putting so much money into military. And America's like, absolutely not. If you get invaded, we're not doing shit. So I think that's what they mean. But
I think
honestly,
that's what he meant. But he just apparently he doubled down today.
Extortion would be a lot cooler.
Apparently he clarified today, and he's like he doubled down and said, "Yeah, I meant what I said. They could get fucked." I don't have that comment yet. This apparently just happened today, February 14th. It's Valentine's Day. Hey, happy Valentine's Day. Should you not be with your
I was.
partner? Okay.
I was.
My partner's out of town, so
Yeah.
I'm
I was.
clear.
And you're talking to me.
Yeah.
You're not, she's not even in the sea.
Yeah.
No, we had Valentine's Day last Saturday. We went out for some drinks and some food, and then we went out today for some drinks, and we're going out Saturday for drinks and food again. Jesus Christ! But short.
Yeah.
It's a long story short. Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day. Don't tell all of your lovers.
Well, and kind of what I have here too is like, yeah, NATO is real. Like, that's the actual fascism, right? Like, NATO was designed to stop the spread of communism. That's the point of NATO. So, like, I don't really give a shit what happens with these, but like, it is just kind of crazy that like on a world stage in an election year, Trump can say shit like this and like mean it, and it will have no effect. People will have forgotten he said this in November, but like, these are our NATO allies. These are like all of basically like, I don't know, 15 or like 13, I forget how many NATO countries there are, of like some of the world's most powerful countries. This is France and Germany and England.
I think the top 10 most powerful countries, from the top 10, and like 8 of them are our allies.
Yeah, I mean, like non-NATO powerful countries are like, I don't know,
regardless,
Brazil, India.
This is just like a remnant of the fucking Cold War.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need this shit anymore. Like, what is
the
this
Warsaw
exist?
Pact is dead, but NATO still lives, and it's like that's It's
like it really doesn't need to. Maybe, I guess maybe some sort of loose military contract if Russia really does fucking invade, I don't know, Poland again. But it's like realistically, this is causing more harm than anything, because Putin and Russia in general are taking offense to like all the like NATO encroaching on their borders.
Yeah.
And maybe this might have not happened. Maybe it might not have happened. I'm not saying for sure, but maybe they wouldn't have invaded Ukraine if this wasn't happening.
Well, that's what Putin claimed was one of his leading like sticking points, was Ukraine's admission into NATO was like
the final straw.
That was like his final straw. Also, did you see? This is somewhat related. It was today or yesterday. Putin said that Putin supports Biden. Like, Putin endorsed Biden, like as for a presidential candidate. He said he was asked like if
this guy is sending military weapons.
Yeah. I guess he was. I don't know how the question was phrased to Putin, but the conversation in some interview in Russia, I assume, was that like he was asked, or he said, I don't know if he was asked, but he said that Trump, like between the two, Trump is like more unstable and Biden's a more professional politician, like a more experienced politician. So he is supporting, or he wants Biden to win in the election, which is just weird for Putin to say.
It's like, dude, imagine like you're fighting in a war and your enemy is being funded by this country, and then you're supporting that same guy who's sending the money to fight your people.
Yeah.
And my head is just like,
you know what the funny side of this, like what I think that might be like the most funny thing here is that maybe it's just because Putin has met Trump and he just fucking can't stand the guy.
Yeah.
He's like, if Trump becomes president, I'll have to have dinner with Trump again, and he just really doesn't want that.
If
so
this guy comes around, I will send myself to the Hague.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, he just ducks his calls and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, well, time to move on to Israel. That was our lightning round.
God.
That was a 20-minute lightning round.
You're just
it's fine.
We need to have more. Well, you know what we're gonna do next time is I'm gonna bring like some sort of timer.
Yeah,
and we have like 2 minutes.
Okay, like the
minutes.
chess clock where we.
And then when it starts screaming, you have to like finish your sentence and go.
Yeah. We'll have to just move on to the next one. Okay. Well. Yeah. So, like they did on Christmas, I think it was Christmas, or maybe it was New Year's. I don't remember. Israel used a major American, I hesitate to say holiday, to hide another massacre, another tragic bombing. Yeah, he used the Super Bowl this time.
Dude,
so,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, this is like now it's become, I don't know, is 2 or 3 a trend? 1 is an incident, 2 is a coincidence, 3 doing it 3 or 4 times is now a trend where Israel will wait till kind of America is distracted before they really pull out the big atrocities. And
Which
this is something they've now done, is starting it as a trend. So yeah, and on the Super Bowl, on Super Bowl Sunday, last Sunday, February, I don't know, whenever that was, the 9th or whatever, Israel bombed Rafah, which is like I think it's the southernmost city in Gaza.
Yeah, part of Rafah, I believe, from what I saw on the map, is also in Egypt.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
But part of it's like in Egypt, part of it's in Gaza.
Yeah.
From what I saw, I might be wrong.
Pretty severe bombing, but yeah,
it's basically the southernmost point of Gaza, and they're like, oh, get away from the north, evacuate the south, and then what does Israel do?
Bomb the shit out of it. But the point that makes this particularly heinous is that it was supposedly where, once again, this is what they did early days in that post October 7th, is telling them to move to a certain area, and then bombing that area, like telling refugees to go to this place. So like apparently they were
literally
told to go to
tents.
Rafah. Yeah, Rafah was like the big refugee area. It's where they were told to go. It's where like was supposedly a safe place in Gaza. And then that's where they were all kind of corralled, and then that's where they were bombed, and all in an effort. I guess the outcome was that they were stoked that they rescued 2 hostages in this massive campaign.
And then slaughtered 100 people.
Yeah, or not hundreds, but yeah, 100 at least. I think the death toll is well over 100 now.
Yeah.
Again, most of their children, or at least a huge majority of them, are children.
About almost 50. I think there's about 50 children now. 50 children.
Yeah.
How is this not considered genocide?
So this was going on while everyone was watching Taylor Swift and talking about Taylor Swift and watching the Super Bowl.
I
Israel was
just lost
committing
so much respect for it, man.
Yeah, and also I will say this.
And they put an ad up in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, okay, and that's another thing. Oh, that was a good take
man.
I saw somewhere. It's like Israel's begging for money, and we're sending all this money for ads. Do you know how much an ad spot during the Super Bowl costs?
It's like the most expensive thing.
It's like many like dozens of, or like over $10 million or whatever for like a promo spot. At that ad time during the Super Bowl is millions, and Israel is paying for ads while accepting our money from like.
So we're giving them money to put ads
to
back
buy, and that's
us.
it just seems so fucking insane. But I lost
disgusting.
I lost where I was going with that. But yeah, during the Super Bowl, they bombed this place. Oh, it was what I was going to say is even Biden, to his credit, which I'm hesitant to give him credit. He said, I don't know how the exact quote, but he said something about like going too far or going overboard or something. So like even Biden was like too much. Obviously, that's too little, too late from Biden. So like it's not like that's,
after the 100 people got bombed, then you say it.
After 27,000 deaths or wherever we're at now in Palestine, he claims this one was a little too late.
I did read that those 27,000 theoretical deaths, 28,000, whatever it is now. Those do not count for the people that are under rubble or missing.
Yeah, which is going to double the number. Yeah, or at least.
Well, there's like 65,000 people injured. Injured by meaning like they've got a bullet hole in them or shrapnel stuck in them, an arm blown off, a leg blown off.
And this all comes after Hamas like put forward like ceasefire terms that were apparently quote unquote a non-starter for some of them, which was like Israel leaves all Palestinian like Gaza and West Bank. I forget the full list of like demands that Hamas made, but Netanyahu just outright refused. He said some of them are
Palestinians will leave Gaza and West Bank.
No, that the Israeli that was the Hamas.
Oh
Hamas put out demands.
And I put up a.
Do you want to watch this video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, this will explain it real quick.
Good morning, Robin. Yeah, there was a lot of expectation growing towards this deal, not least from the hostage families. But Prime Minister Netanyahu says he cannot accept Hamas's terms. Despite all this, Secretary of State Blinken says he does see space for an agreement.
This morning, despite growing pressure to accept a deal to bring home Israel's remaining hostages, Benjamin Netanyahu has rejected a Hamas ceasefire proposal. He called their conditions delusional. Hamas called for the withdrawal of all Israeli troops from Gaza over a 4.5-month ceasefire. Right. Over 3 phases, Hamas would release all hostages, with Israel exchanging prisoners. Instead, the war rages on, and Gaza's last city still...
Israel considered Netanyahu and everyone was saying that those terms were just like outrageous and just a non-starter, but it's like don't be an occupying force in our own land, and we'll do a prisoner exchange, our hostages for hostages. That seems like so reasonable to me.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. The whole reason they did this was because of Hamas and the hostages, right?
Yeah.
And so they're like, hey, man, we will give you what you want. We'll release all of them. Yeah. Just get out. Yeah. Stop bombing us for 4.5 months.
Supposedly that's why Israel's there, is for the hostages.
Yeah, get out. We'll release all the hostages. Yeah. And they said, no. And I remember reading in one of the articles, Netanyahu saying, like, we are so close to victory.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Gaza destroyed?
Yeah, gone.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like if it's about the hostages, then you would take this deal. But obviously, it's not about the hostages. It's about genociding Palestinians. It's about ethnic cleansing that region.
Just getting them out of the fucking, and that's why they keep moving them south to Rafah. And eventually, with them bombing Rafah, what they probably think is like, hey, if we bomb like the only place left,
they flee to Egypt.
Flee to Egypt, and it's ours.
Then it's boom. We can just move in and build condos. Yeah.
Oh my god, bro, that's just like
it's insane. It's like
what the fuck?
It's like just so despicable, like dastardly level of like evil that is just kind of uncomprehendable.
Just straight evil.
Incomprehensible.
Ground troops are now approaching. People here are desperate for a deal. Enough, frankly, enough, says this woman. Find a solution for us. We're destroyed. And hostage families pleading with their prime minister. 34-year-old Sharon Aloni Cunio telling him, we've reached the moment of truth, the moment when you must decide who lives and who dies. Conscious that time is against them, the IDF says at least 31 of the more than 100 hostages in Gaza are already believed dead. 23-year-old Hirsch Goldberg.
Yeah, but who killed them?
One of the Americans.
Yeah, that was
probably Israel from bombing.
We know that they've been died. A lot of them have died in bombings. Yeah.
We started by saying that there is no time left for these hostages.
What went through your mind when you heard that this ceasefire deal had fallen through?
This is all talking about the perspective of getting the hostages and not like stopping Palestine.
Right now, he's at a crossroads.
It's always,
he could be known as the Prime Minister who oversaw the tragedy of October 7th and then subsequently brought home 136 body bags. Or he could be known as the Prime Minister who oversaw October 7th.
136 body
brought
bags.
Home as many hostages alive as possible, strengthened the country, put it on a better path, and moved us forward.
Insane. No reference to almost 30,000.
So Netanyahu
That's
said
what
he
I'm
wants
saying.
total
Like,
victory, and with that, the IDF is closing in on Rafah, but really is the last refuge
or bring back
in Gaza.
136 body
Hundreds
bags.
of thousands have taken
I'm like,
shelter
really,
there. They really do not have anywhere else to go.
That's what's the 136.
That's
you
what they're concerned
piece
about?
of human garbage. 30,000 people.
Most
over
of whom
10,000
women and
children.
most women and children.
You are monsters. That's what you give a fuck about?
It's insane, man. It's just truly like
I can spit on you. Spit on your fucking grave. Fuck you, man. Like that's insane to me.
Yeah.
The 136 body bags. Like, look, I'm sorry for the the Israeli hostages. I feel bad for them. They're got caught in all this.
I mean, that's not like we're insensitive.
I'm sure a majority of them are regular ass people. But if that is your main point of concern, that 136 people might die, that is not good. I do not want 136 people to die, let alone Israeli hostages. I don't care who they are. But 30,000 people have died. Well,
coming up on it, yeah. But it's more than that. So we can safely assume it's 30,000.
30,000 people have died. Yeah. Half of those children, right? No reference to those numbers.
Yeah, worrying about just 1s, 2s, 3s, like bombing an entire refugee camp, killing hundreds.
I'm like, I've really got goosebumps, man. Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, what are we talking about here? Where's the humanity?
Well, we're talking about just valuing Israeli lives more than Palestinian lives. I mean,
and
that's what it comes down to.
What it is?
They consider them
colonialism.
Yeah, they're subhuman, so they value them less, and so I don't want that to be taken out of context. The Israelis view Palestinians as subhuman, so that their lives are worth considerably less. Their lives are worth 100 to 1, 1,000 to 1. There is no math where like it won't make sense to bomb the entirety of Gaza to save 136 people, kill 30,000, 50,000, 2.2 million total people there, to just save 130 Israelis.
What they're doing is they're using those hostages as bait to keep the war going. Yeah. So they're using their own people. As a reason to keep invading.
Yeah, it's mostly just a talking point.
So,
it's like when Democrats don't actually pass Roe v. or that make any kind of like abortion exceptions because they would rather campaign on that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's more fundraising dollars. If they actually solve a problem, then they can't fundraise on it anymore.
That is, oh my God, I'm fucking posting. That is a short.
Yeah, so like Israel's the same way. If they actually rescue the hostages, then they no longer have license to kill Palestinians.
Because there's no reason to be to bomb them.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's insane. Yeah. So no, it's the same reason. Like it was very intentional. The Democrats don't actually get anything done. Like it's people want to blame like Congress and like the blockages in Congress and just how but like it's very much intentional.
But people would say that's a conspiracy theory, but I'm just like that's politics.
It's literally politics.
That's politics.
Like, that's what you get these emails. I get fucking emails from Joe Biden and Kamala Harris about like and different organizations. It's like raising money for abortion, raising money for all this stuff, and it's like they can't send those emails if they actually address abortion.
Exactly.
So they have no incentive. They lose money, they lose power if they help people. So why would they ever help people?
Exactly.
American politics is like inverted like the way it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And Israel's like we've now gone circle on this, but it's the same way. If they rescue the hostages, they no longer have an excuse to kill Palestinians carte blanche.
Well,
so why would
Israel is basically just like a fucking third wing of America.
Yeah, it's just the right wing of America.
It's just another wing of America. They're playing the same politics that we're playing. What is Iran doing? Is Iran doing it? Is Iran playing these politics?
No, what's going on with the Houthis? I haven't followed that up with that story. What's up with the Houthi or the Yemeni pirates and the Houthis? Are they still doing their thing? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I haven't heard any news about it.
Actually, that just occurred to me. I haven't heard anything about them in a week or two. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, we'll have to look at it. All right, I think
we're good,
dude.
I think this was actually kind of a shorter one, but
but I feel like we've talked about more things.
Actually, yeah,
there's been more things that we've talked about here than the past like 3
Well, it's been a lot to catch up on.
Yeah.
We talked to Sally Hates Capitalism, we talked to Turn Leftist, and now we've actually been able to kind of come back and do some Revolutionary Rhetoric podcast, do some on air. It's hard. This is behind me and inverted, so it's very difficult for my brain to comprehend. Yeah, it was great to come back and do some regular news. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
We are not the interview podcast. We just like to have people on for a discussion.
Yeah, and if we do have more guests on like that, I'm going to scrap where we should talk about it first, but like scrap the idea of like just preparing interview questions and just do the news and have these conversations.
I like that idea.
Like we did it with Faye, we did it with Ben.
Yeah,
just having a conversation.
I like
as opposed
that idea.
To interviewing. Although I had some questions prepared.
Although we could theoretically do just like maybe 5 to 10 minutes of
drop
questions,
it in,
and then go into the.
Or as we talk about Palestine, where do you stand on electoral politics? Whatever.
I like it.
Anyway,
yeah.
Follow us everywhere. If you're listening to this on YouTube,
Still follow me
or
to
if
my
you're
house.
listening to this on an audio podcast, go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do these. You can see our voices. We've made multiple mentions of putting stuff up on screen. So if you're listening to this audio, I think you have to assume by now that there's a video version, or else you're real dense.
Or
else you've got some problems.
Sociopaths
yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, go check out the audio version. If you're driving or whatever, you like audio podcasts, give us a shout there.
The audio quality will be better on the
audio quality
podcast.
Is better on the podcast.
We
but
focus
not by
on
much.
the visuals.
Still,
not too much. No,
it's still pretty close.
It's
Our
pretty close.
production value is pretty high. The last video notwithstanding.
Yeah, that's what I want to reiterate. Our last video, that is not the standard for our videos.
We actually have pretty high standards. We've set it up in such a way that we actually do have pretty high production values. Yeah. If you do go listen on iTunes or Spotify or whatever your podcast app of choice is, make sure you give us a rating over there. I don't say that enough, but give us a 5-star rating. Drop a review on the on your podcast app of choice. Leave a comment, like, and share, and subscribe on YouTube, and also follow us on our socials. We're really trying to build up momentum on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. We're doing a lot of YouTube shorts. We're doing a lot of TikToks. We're doing a lot of Instagram posts. We're making money moves, so give us a follow.
Yeah.
Revolutionary Rhetoric podcast everywhere. Revolutionary Rhetoric wherever you get your social medias.
And I also like to say I appreciate all the new people that have followed us, and I hope you find our content to be quality.
Yeah,
that's what we're striving for here. Quality
after
content.
Sally and Mike, we definitely saw a boost to our socials, which was not unexpected and definitely not unappreciated. So we appreciate all the new listeners, all the new support from those guys, those folks, I should say. And get out there, do some mutual aid, join a local org, join your Communist Party USA, join your PSL, join
the Libertarian Party. No, I'm kidding.
Do not join the Libertarian Party unless you're a Libertarian Socialist, aka like Anacom or anarchist. But that's a whole other thing. Join mutual aid org. Look at Food Not Bombs. There's kitchens. There's food distribution. Clothing drives, harm reduction stuff, giving out needles and glass and sexual reproductive health and stuff like that. There's
whatever
always
you
something
can do to help.
Yeah, whatever you can do to help.
Physically get out there to help.
Yeah,
that
find a Saturday and go out and help. That's something we're big proponents of here.
And if you don't know what to do, join a local org like CPUSA, and we will find you something to do.
Literally,
we got stuff to do,
open
dog.
up your Instagram app and just type in mutual aid. Your name of your city, Mutual Aid Seattle, and press enter on your Instagram app, and you will see, Seattle Mutual Aid, whatever accounts.
On our Instagram, go to our following or even our followers, and I followed many accounts in the Seattle area that help with Palestine and other types of mutual aid.
Yeah.
So I made sure
and if you're
that
not
we're
in
following
Seattle,
them.
There's still like big tent orgs like Food Not Bombs, and that are like these national orgs that have local chapters that do stuff.
And if you're in Arizona, finish what this guy didn't start and make. I'm just kidding. I'm fucking with you.
No,
and try to legalize being a fucking communist.
If you're in Arizona, join the Communist Party USA and talk to those guys in Phoenix, because that's a real good group of people in Phoenix, and there's a lot of good orgs. There is Food Not Bombs. There is Mutual Aid. There's definitely, if you're in Arizona downtown where the encampments are, there's a lot of groups that go out and give like first aid and healthcare. I know because I did it with those groups, so it's definitely out there in Phoenix, because it gets hot in Phoenix. 115, 120 degree summers. Those guys need water. They need help. So go help them out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
cool. Well, we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Bye.